Don in London, hello. It's April the 11th, 2013. My video is all about recovery from addictions to either substances or behaviours, plural. I guess we all have things we can become addicted to. In my case, I became addicted to primarily alcohol. So hello, my name is Don and I'm an alcoholic in recovery, just one day at a time. And have been for several years, and the only reason why I say that is because it's working just one day at a time, and continues to work one day at a time, provided and contingent on me looking after myself, my spiritual condition, as much as anything else. And what is my spiritual condition? Well, it's emotional and spiritual, knowing my feelings in the moment of now. And that might seem a bit strange, but if you're feeling hungry, angry, lonely or tired about something, your feelings can go all over the place and drive your thinking brain mad. Not that we have a separate brain as such. The brain is what the brain is, and it provides us with the opportunity to feel life and think about it. And many people think it's the other way around. We think about it and then we fix our feelings. Well, in recovery, hopefully we feel life and then have a think about it. So we're not trying to fix them anymore, the feelings. Anyone who needs a fix needs to take the edge off and does it repetitively for a long time. I'm just taking a sip of coffee, so I'm busted on that one. There are some things which help fix us in some way. A shot of coffee, I suppose it uplifts the nervous system to an extent because it's got caffeine in it. But it's not as bad as alcohol or other things we can fix on. So mine was alcohol. I never got to drugs because I was probably too frightened to, didn't have the bottle for it, or I just didn't get there for whatever reason. I don't know that I would have survived that at the end of my drinking had I tried to switch to another. So I'm gratified when people who are addicted to other substances which are far more dangerous and will kill you with an overdose far easier, I'm glad they get to recovery a lot quicker because of it. Anyway, we can be addicted to anything, substance or behaviour. Eating is another one. So if we eat too much and we can't stop, and it's filling a need inside us, an emptiness we can't get rid of, often it's just not feeling right about ourselves ever. That's what we do, fix ourselves, take the edge off, and it doesn't help on the emotional and spiritual journey that life can be, which is to live reality as it is and be able to cope with it. And when we can't cope with reality, be able to ask for help from family, friends, community or wherever. So I needed help in the end to find out how to be sober and what it meant and what it could mean in my life, one day at a time. And I had to get back to a one day at a time framework. Professionals got me dry, to be a dry drunk, and then a fellowship helped me stay sober and find out how to live life. Live real life and cope. And not only cope, find happiness, sadness, joyfulness, horribleness, ugliness, all of it, to be able to live life on life's terms. So have a fun time. You don't need a drink for it. You only think you do, because that's the quickest way to fix what you don't feel right about. Or you just want to feel good. Well, what might seem like the slowest path to happiness is probably the fastest path to long-lasting happiness, and that's to be able to live reality. And that's what I try and do today, as much as possible. So a fellowship has helped me, and that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. If you're in AA, you know I don't speak for you. I never can, and I never will. And if you're not in AA, or you're thinking about it, no one speaks for you, and nobody speaks for the fellowship. It doesn't have any leaders or spokespersons, and I am not a spokesperson for AA. I just share how it works. So, take it or leave it is my judgment for anyone. But don't give up before you get to a place where it's working. Reality's working for you, and continues to work for you under all conditions. So this is what AA is to me, and I share the AA preamble because it takes away any of the mystery or the mystique or the fear that somebody's trying to make you into something you're not. Only you can do that, ultimately, or you can be influenced by other people who put you down and control you. And AA is the very opposite of wanting you to be controlled, because we got controlled by alcohol. So this is AA, the AA preamble, and I'll just add in a bit here and there to emphasise, if you like. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. So we share experience, strength and hope of recovery, and how we recovered for one day. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. And even if you don't have that, you can still go along and find out what it's all about and think, oh no, not that lot. Or, well, they're sober and they're getting on with it. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions, which means if you haven't got any money, don't worry about it. And if we have got some money, we help cover costs and never have excess surpluses, because money is not what we're about. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. As a person, though, you can do all of those things. As a person, you can be allied with your sect, your denomination, your politics, your organisation and institutions. You can engage in controversy, and you can endorse or oppose causes, because that's you, that's your choice, that's your freedom, that's your right. So AA doesn't mind, we don't, I don't, nobody minds what your outlook is, or your personal beliefs or opinions. We're there for sobriety. So it then says our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So you can come from any background and be a part of the fellowship of AA to find out how people keep sober. And fellowship for me ended up making friends. Didn't want to be there, didn't want to be a part of it. I thought we were a bunch of insane idiots. Well, I never thought that. I just felt like I didn't belong. And the reason why I didn't belong when I first got there was because I was still drinking alcohol, and I couldn't understand how they stopped, or why most of them seemed so cheerful. Even when life was difficult, they seemed to have a better way of coping than me. So I share what's on my mind here, rather than go through the daily reflections, and because I've read those over the years and I've shared them over the years, and so I'm thinking of changing the format of this. We'll see. But step 4 this month, the 12 steps to help a person be open, honest and willing to face life honestly. Open, honest and willing. Yes, the honest bit sort of comes out at me this morning. And step 4 in the 12-step program for a person, for me as an individual, to learn, and it's about living life more happily when happiness is possible, and understanding that life can be bad and ugly as well, and how to live when it's bad and ugly and not drink and cope, and what to do if I can't cope. That's what the 12 steps are about, living the truth. So step 4 is do a fearless moral inventory. In other words, a self-appraisal of where your assets are and where your liabilities are, the good bits and the bad bits of you, And having done that, step 4, it identifies in the old life, probably like me, that fear, pride and ego got in the way, and I didn't have enough courage, faith and confidence in the next right thing, possibly. And that happened over and over again, all the time. Fear, pride and ego. If it wasn't fearful, I wouldn't have pride. If I wasn't fearful, ego wouldn't have come out to defend me. So I lacked in my own life courage, faith, confidence, and I could always take the edge off my fear with a drink, and then I could blame the world for all my ills. So I don't do that anymore, not so much anyway. And I've put these as 4 example thoughts in my head, or could be. So for example, 12 steps to help with in everyday life. What happens when you wake up? Have you got a head full of thinking about what you have to do? And how do you feel about that? I need to get up and get washed. I'm in a rush. I've got things to do. And if I don't get started now, I'll never catch up. I must do this. I must do that. And I am already hungry, angry and lonely and tired. I haven't got time to think about recovery right now. That can happen. If we're on a treadmill, that's doing the same things over and over again and expecting something different to happen. Another example, I've had a sleepless night, only a couple of hours of sleep or less. My head is churning with all the things I'm worried about. Deadlines, what people think of me, I'm short of money, where did my romance go, why does it always happen to me, I haven't got time to put recovery into practice right now. It's all right for some, they seem to live and breathe recovery, but they don't have my problems. And my problems are getting in the way of anything to do with spiritual. And spiritual is for wimps. Emotional nonsense is not something for me. And yet, emotional nonsense, stiff upper lip, brave face, poker face, they won't get to me. Well, if you're actually saying they won't get to me, they already have. Well, the one person who counts already has got to you, that's yourself. So if you're covering up something, or not sharing the truth of how you feel, even if it's fear, say, I'm okay. Well, you're not. Are you? If you've got that gut-wrenching or even slight butterfly feeling, there's a bit of fear in there. So if you say, if someone says, how are you feeling today? And you say, oh, a little bit fearful, and they take no notice of you, they're the wrong person to be talking to. And the actual wrong person to be talking to when you have those things going on is yourself, because you can turn yourself into a nervous wreck and still appear like an iron lady or an iron gentleman. I said the iron lady because Margaret Thatcher just perished, and I'm sorry about that. But she was forever putting on a brave face, and behind that, in private apparently, she was quite a nice person, behind the iron lady. But she had to put it on. And in the end it got her, because she never really shared the truth. Anyway, personal opinion there. For example, I want to follow the old dream, where I can do anything. I can be with anyone, and the world is at my feet. I am frustrated by life. It never seems to be quite what it's supposed to be. Other people got the breaks and I didn't. And when I got the break, somebody undermined me. I don't like the way the world is. What am I going to do to get ahead? And number one in my work. And be number one in my work or family or both. When will people really see what I'm worth? Why don't people do what I tell them to do? Why doesn't anyone see my point of view? They undermined me. They robbed me of my chances. No wonder I drank. No wonder I had another affair. No wonder the world has gone to hell in a handbasket. There is no God, and I haven't got time for anything to do with this recovery nonsense. Life is too short. Those people in fellowship, I don't know where they are. I reckon they're on another planet. They're a bit like Brazil, where the nuts come from. We can get there. For example, if I'm pulled back into the negative way of thinking, and the madness of how it used to be starts to rule my actions, I will completely forget about emotional and spiritual, because that is just what happens. Excuse me. When I forget to check out my mood in the most straightforward way, hungry, angry, lonely or tired, forgetting these feelings will place me in a negative mood all day long. Are we that simple or dumb? No, it's not simple or dumb, it's just we forget. In our decision making, so often we are driven by thoughts, we forget what is driving the thoughts. We are. And what drives us? Feelings drive our mood. Feelings drive us mad. Feelings can help us get back to sanity and also cause us insanity. Why are we so programmed to believe that thinking rules everything and thinking comes first? Because we have been taught to think. You know, from when we get to school, if we go to school, it's all about logic and thinking. You know, they don't have a starting lesson on how are you feeling today. They may give you a bit of religious instruction, which is about God and feelings and things and being spiritual, but there are no emotional, how am I feeling? It's assumed we know how we're feeling, and yet we don't. And there are very few lessons in emotions, except real life lessons around fear, brave facing, ego, courage, faith and confidence, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. They are there. Feelings always drive what happens next, and I put that in inverted commas, as if it's true. Well, it may not be true for you, because your thinking brain's ahead of it. Using thinking to explore your emotional and spiritual life can be difficult. Truth, love and wisdom. Explore the truth of how you are feeling right now. Explore who you love and how important love is in your life. And then ask yourself, what do I need to do today? Who takes time to understand their mood right now? Probably people who know it's quite a good idea to know your mood and then understand why your thinking is quite wonky today. For example, I feel good, I think good, I have good outcomes. Sometimes it works out my way, often it just works out the way it can. I feel bad, I think bad, and the outcomes are bad, and I knew it would be that way. I felt ugly, and the more I thought about it, it was very ugly, and the outcomes were ugly as well. When I felt good, I was not hungry, angry, lonely or tired, but when life was going bad, it just got me down, and I couldn't get out of it. And when it was ugly, I felt so angry and horrible, even resentful, I could not sleep. And I missed breakfast, I was late and nothing was going well. Why didn't I consider doing a step 10 last night and writing a gratitude list? Which takes you a few seconds in your head, where if you write it down it means more, or does it? And why have I forgotten to do this for ages, or given no time to me to work out how to start again? Why don't I do the basics? Basics are for wimps. Or are they? How am I feeling? Well, this is me. When I woke up I felt thirsty. Blood sugar's too high, need insulin, inject insulin. What is my mood? How am I really feeling? The true answer right now is I felt better for a cup of coffee. I felt worse listening to the news, because I have time to do so. And it was disillusioning. It didn't really have any sort of good news in there. I felt better doing a couple of morning routines. And then of course I am reminded of my morning meditation, which takes a few seconds. Step 1, I am powerless over people, places and things, and if I try to control them, life will get unmanageable. Step 2, and in relation to that, my plumber and electrician are coming tomorrow to fix my shower so I can smell better. Excuse me, and if I try to do it any other way, I might have got a result, but I might not ever get things sorted again. Excuse me again. Yeah, so step 1, I am powerless over people, places and things, and if I try to control them, life will get unmanageable, but I can ask for their help. Step 2, doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result is mad. So trying to do the same things over and over again in the old way, life will just be the same as it always used to be, and that's mad. Step 3, let go my way, being the only way, and ask for help if I need it. And then Can do, cannot do, and the wisdom to know the difference is my shortened serenity prayer. Can do, cannot do, and wisdom to know the difference. That few second meditation in my head, or spoken aloud, which is more profound, I assure you, because I'm sure the neighbours can hear it, so they may get my wisdom. How long does it take? Spoken that it takes as much time as it does to switch on the kettle, go for a pee and flush the loo. Those few seconds focusing on can do, cannot do, and then the big question, how am I really feeling? If you know your starting point with your mood this morning, you will know what needs to be done. Usually if we feel hungry, angry, or lonely or tired, or all of them, we need conscious contact with someone in recovery. Hopefully we can today, and quickly. So the whole point of that, do I practice recovery every day? Do I say to myself, how am I feeling, why, and what can I do? Do I say to myself, step one, powerless over people, places and things, and if I try to control them, life gets unmanageable? Step two, do I do the same things over and over again and expect a different result? Well, with some things I have to have routines and want the same result, like injecting insulin so I don't starve to death or fall over with a stroke or fall over unconscious and die. So some routines are quite essential. And then step three, let go knowing the answer to everything, because I don't. Very few things do I know the answer to until they're happening. So not prejudging, doing the same thing over again, and asking for help when I'm not sure, or I feel hungry, angry, lonely and tired. And then the can do, can't do, and wisdom to know the difference is in the moment of now. So that's serenity prayer, can do, can't do, wisdom to know the difference. A bit longer and said with feeling. To God, or the power of your understanding, and it can be just truth, love and wisdom, the universal truth, love and wisdom, which is far better than our own truth, love and wisdom often, and improved with conversations with whoever, either in this world or with your connection to a higher power, whatever that might be. So to God, or in good conscience, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, being learned moment to moment, minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, and hopefully just for today. So, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, that is emotion. If you don't check it out, your thinking will command everything, because logically, task driven, logically, got to get it done, logically, what will people think of me if I don't do this? What about you and your feelings? Are you hungry, angry, lonely or tired? Are you loved? Are you able to love people? Are you emotionally and spiritually equipped in the moment of now? Well, I can say yes, you are, whenever it is. The emotional and spiritual experience is probably better without a substance or a fix in the way of it. So it's a personal choice, always. Just for today.